Hi guys, my name is Dr. Zeeshan. Welcome to Learn with W3Schools and Java Programming Full Course for Beginners using W3Schools website. Today we're going to talk about math, Java math class. This is a wonderful utility class that allows us to operate mathematical functions inside Java programming. So how and what type of methods we have, we're going to discuss this today in a quick session. So if you haven't subscribed there yet, please do subscribe, follow along, hit that bell icon so that you can receive all these wonderful tutorials regularly. Now, if you are following along, you know that we have already covered all these topics and we are moving to the math session. If you're here for the first time and just landed up on this video, please do note that we have already covered all these previous topics using W3Schools website. Today, we're going to talk about math, and in coming days, we're going to cover all these future wonderful topics of Java programming. And this is going to be an absolute basic course, so that if you're here, don't worry, I'm going to explain everything, how Java is working with examples and everything. Okay, so without further ado, subscribe and let's begin. Now, just like string, we have math, but math is actually completely different. Okay, math is not a data type, it's a class. There is a separate class in Java system called math in a Java util package that allows us to perform mathematical functions. Okay, so this math class has various different mathematical functions like maximum, minimum, like sqrt, like finding absolute values, like finding random values, like finding, I think they're just ending here. If I come back here and open this link as well, and you will find that they have all of these methods, from finding absolute to cos to sine to tangent to exponential values to floor, division, hypotenuse, basically as many mathematical functions as they can fit in, they have used it. So all of these mathematical functions are here. You can create your own functions, by the way, so don't worry about that. We will see this in creating our own methods when we come to that particular point. But for now, this is a math class. How this math class is used, let's see a couple of examples. Let me just kill all of these first. And there we go, there we go, there we go, there we go. So we come back here, click on new file. And here we are, a very simple and basic example within W3Schools. It says system.out.println. Again, we're printing something, and we've used math. See, this capital M represents what? Class name, yes. Math.max bracket 5 comma 10. So what's happening here now? What we are doing is we are directly printing that I have a math class. Dot inside this class, there's a method called max bracket start bracket close. Because it's a method, it has bracket start bracket close, and it takes two arguments, argument 1 comma argument 2. These two arguments represent some values that has been passed to this max function. Based on the values we pass, this max function will determine among these two values which value is the maximum, which value is the bigger, and it says, hey, 10 is the bigger. The way it has been used is this math. Now, math is actually a class inside Java, and then max is a method inside that class. Because this method has also been declared as public and static, right? Because this method has been declared, this max and all other methods are actually declared as public and static, we can access these methods without creating their objects, just by using the class name and method name. Exactly the same way the Java's compiler and Java's JRE, will be using this main method. So we have already talked about public static a little bit earlier on. This is what they basically mean. And the same thing I have talked about in println as well. The println method is also declared as public static. That is why by using the class name, I'm able to directly use println. So here, math is a class that exists inside my Java's utility package, and we don't need to import or in anything. It's already by default imported and it's there. It's inside my code. I can use it directly, and I can say, hey, math.max 5 comma 10 bracket close, indicating I want to find a maximum number. Similarly, there's method called minimum number. What this again basically means is that I have system.on.println, go inside the math class, dot minimum value amongst these two. So minimum, round bracket start, round bracket close. Now I have a minimum value amongst these two. Capish? Excellent. Then we go with sqrt. Same, math.sqrt. Because sqrt we usually take a single number, so now it takes a single number. And then obviously sqrt, you all know what it does. It finds the square root of 64 and it will return an answer. So you can find the square root of a number anyway. So if I come back here, you can write it in this way. Or if you prefer, you can say, hey, let's just use, for example, integer sq is equals to, and I can say math.sqrt function, semicolon, and then say, let me just find sqrt of 64. So now what it will do is it will find the square root of the 64. Whatever is the answer will be stored in this sqrt integer variable. And then you can use, for example, same system dot out dot println going to inverted quotation marks, and you can say the squr square root of what plus this 64 64 plus or any other variable for that matter as well. So for example, I can have integer number is equals to 64. Okay, so I can use the number here value directly, or I can pass this number as a parameter as well. So you can pass this variable into this sqrt as well. What this will do, it will pass this variable, and basically by passing a variable means we are passing this value. So the value of this number will be given here. So I can easily now write here number. So I say, hey, the square root of this number, and then plus, and then inverted quotations is colon, inverted quotations close, and then plus, and then sq. Okay, so now what we have done is, and then with semicolon, make sure you always close with the semicolon. So now if I run this code, if everything is all okay, it will give us the sqrt with a nice message, and it says, sqrt, there's a problem here. What's the problem? Incompatible types. Incompatible types. Okay. So if you read the error message, it says sqrt number, incompatible types, possible loss of conversion from double to integer. So because this sqrt actually requires a double value, not an integer number, it's giving us that error that, hey, you have used an integer here, but I need what? A double value. So try to read the errors as well. So this is again a good thing. So now if you read the errors, and in order to understand what the errors are, so that you can solve it. So now here it says that possible loss of conversion because we need double and you have given us an integer value. So this sqrt, if you are using a variable, does not consider there. So basically what we need to do is we need to make sure we use double if nothing else is a problem. And because this is a double, I can just use D here. Now if I run it, error, sqrt incompatible types, loss of conversion from double to integer. Why? Oh, okay. Sorry. Hang on. Let me just revise it. Sorry, my mistake. The error is actually on this line here. This sqrt is returning a double value. Okay. So this can be an integer. Let's just leave it to the integer, and this will be double, double. Okay, because it says that when we find out the square root, it's the possibility that the answer can be in decimal values. So the answer is always returned in a decimal number. I think that was not mentioned here. I don't know whether they have mentioned in the table. Usually the return type matters. That's why we say we usually go for the documentation and we try to read. Yeah, here it is, right? So it's return types have been mentioned here. So if you find the sqrt somewhere around here, where is the sqrt? Sqrt here. So it says returns the square root of an x, and the return type is double. Okay, means the answer that's going to be returned to us will be in double. So that's a common error that occurs in Java. So you be mindful of that. So these are two not needed. I come back here, and now hopefully we get the answer correctly. So the square root of 64, in place of number, the 64 is printed is, and we get the output that like that. Wonderful. Okay. So how is that output generated? We said, hey, square root of plus number, because number is a variable. This one I need to use this. So I close the inverted quotation marks. I added a plus and number. So this means that I want to add the value of this number with this string. So we concatenate these two numbers together. Then I add another plus because I want to add the next part of this with another string called is colon. So I added another string here. Then I added another plus to join this SQL. So this becomes the whole. So if you want to print output in this case and say, I want to replace this 64 with the number and this 8.0 with SQT. So you just have to find out that where you need to add this plus and close the inverted quotations. So this is a part of a string. This string is closed, then plus equal SQ variable. Because this number is going to come in between two strings, so that's why we have plus number plus. Okay, so basically idea is again same. So do remember that sqrt will return a double, Some functions will return double, some are returning integer or long. Mostly they're double, integer, 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 integer. So whenever you're using function, be mindful of that what type of data they are returning. If you don't use the correct data, it's going to complain. Okay, so this is what basically it does. So we have math.random. Similar to math.random, this complete reference provides us all these methods. So if you want to find sine, cosine, tangent values, degrees values, and so on and so forth, these methods are quite useful and quite handy. How to use them? Again, click on any of these and you can find out, and follow the tutorials and you will find out easily. Okay. All right, so this concludes today's session on Java math class. I hope you understand what exactly maths are and you would follow along with more of the concepts. I hope you understand what exactly things are doing in terms of how we use the maths and class functions and use more advanced features within it. Okay, so don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon so you receive the next videos as well.